que se manifestó.
Virtud y fe.
O Canada, stringiami il tuo bel cor.
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
We are not the first people of this land, and others will follow. The stewardship of the original people preserved this place for future generations. We are connected to the web of all existence, and it behooves us to honor these people by acknowledging this connection and preparing for the future. We commit ourselves to righting the wrongs of the past, creating respectful relationships with all of the Indigenous peoples, and to shaping a future of equal opportunity and possibility for us all. Our goal of this congregation is to extend our hearts in welcome to whoever you may be. We are connected through our desire to live out our ideals of peace, love, and justice for all. We are here to love one another and to encourage each other in our spiritual growth. Our congregation's mission includes our commitment to nurture one another, serve the community, and inspire action to heal the world. Let's begin with these words by the Reverend Maureen Kaloran, who used to be a member of our church here. As we weather winds of change, may we have the wisdom to cherish moments of silence. As we recollect times of challenge and of pain, may we remember also the graceful blessings of our lives. As we look to the future unknowns, may we have the boldness to trust that there is an unimagined good yet to come.
Please join me in saying our unison words for lighting our chalice. May this flame be our light of friendship and love. Now let's join in singing Rachel Scott, number 73, for us, Chant for the Seasons.
73, Chant for the Seasons. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Sweet the angling sun, sweet upon the air, the smell of blue mist rising. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Glorious the trees, glorious the sight of rust leaves falling, falling. Summertime has turned the star wheel, autumn is upon us. Autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Gray the windy storms, cold upon our cheeks, the white rain glistens, glistens. Autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Leaping is the fire, golden in the glass, the cider glows like amber. Autumn cold has turned the star wheel, winter is upon us. Winter rains have turned the star wheel, springtime is upon us. Oh, winter rains have turned the star wheel, springtime is upon us. Sharp the smell of loam, bursting in our eyes, the turrets of the tulips. Winter rains have turned the star wheel, springtime is upon us. Greening is the grass, soft upon our brows, the sunlight warm caresses. Winter rains have turned the star wheel, is upon us. Vernal clouds have turned the star wheel, summer is upon us. Vernal clouds have turned the star wheel, summer is upon us. Gliding are the hawks, hovering above the hot and yellow hillside. Vernal clouds have turned the star wheel, summer is upon us. Crickets in the night, chirping in our ears the sound of moonlit music. Vernal clouds have turned the star wheel, summer is upon us.
Each week we take a bit of time to spend in quiet and contemplation. This week we saw the official arrival of summer, although we've certainly been seeing signs of it coming around the corners, warm temperatures. And coming up this next week is Canada Day. And so that's why we're talking this week about celebrating the wonderful gifts and amazing aspects of living in this country. Today, our reading for contemplation is from Elizabeth Evans. It's a member of this congregation, and it reminds us of summer and the beautiful things about summer. So I invite you to relax for a moment, listen to the words. There'll be a little bit of silence afterwards for you to just sit deeply with being with yourself, and then Cindy will lead us in some chanting. This hallowed land. The pear trees stand fulfilled in dreaming rows, branches bowed and propped to hold their joyous burden of fruit, blessed and gilded by sunlight. Each pear a miracle, conceived and nurtured by the zealous bees, zooming from petaled groom to blossom bride. Peach orchards are nearly stripped, their luscious children stored in keeping jars and cans, or supped day warm and voluptuous, melting into adoring mouths. Nearby, the vines offer their promise of golden summer gift, their bunches of mellow solar sweet to be the bounty of wine that warms us all winter. This is a hallowed and precious land.
Good morning. Today's chant is Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. I bow to the divine wisdom of all that is and to the divine teacher within. Please join in as soon as you are able.
Om Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo.
Thank you, Cindy, so much. As I said, we're talking about Canada, and I was thinking about that today. Carl and I have now been in Canada for 10 years. When we arrived here, of course, people asked us what we found different about living in Canada. And at first we were a bit overwhelmed, and we didn't notice that much that was different. So we would always mention having milk in bags, because that really was quite different than what we were used to. But other than that, when we were first here, we really didn't experience so much as being different about our lives in the United States. But as I said, 10 years later, we've now experienced how much life in Canada works and is put together, and how things, I didn't understand the political system to begin with at all, but I think I'm getting a clue now. And we've seen the subtle but the vitally important differences between what we have here and what it is that we left behind in the States. So to celebrate Canada Day, I have put together a list of things, of benefits and wonderful things about living in Canada, and I want to share that with you. So A is for Algonquin and all of the beautiful and accessible national parks. B is for butter tarts, because what else do I need to say? I actually could just stop there and it would be the whole list, but I'm going on because C is for coastlines and for the Cheltenham Badlands and other amazing geologic features that you only find in Canada. D is for Celine Dion and Don Ayers and a very determined people who live in Canada. E is for escarpment and A, which I actually don't ever hear people say that much. F is for the vast resources of fishing and oceans, and frankly, it's also for Frozen, not the movie, the days. G is for good governance, the Great Lakes, geese, and gardening. H is for hockey, humility, and a great sense of humor. I is for Canada's Indigenous people. I guess that it's just a tad challenging to find something for every letter of the alphabet, but J was a tough one until I found Joe Bat's arm in Newfoundland and Labrador. I understand by legend that town is named for a crew member of Captain James Cook's, who jumped ship to settle on Fogo Island, and it's probably the most amusing name of a town I've ever heard. K is for kilometers in the Klondike. L is for lacrosse, and for loonies, Gordon Lightfoot and K.D. Lang. M is for maple syrup and money that is printed in beautiful rainbow colors. N is for the Northern Lights. O is for the outdoors and for O Canada, with so many beautiful languages and with inclusive lyrics. P is for the prairies and poutine and being progressive. And Q is for French Quebec and the Queen. And R could be for nothing else but the railroads in the Rockies. S is for the St. Lawrence Seaway, and sorry, I have heard that a lot. T is for the Toronto Film Festival and for the Tragically Hip. U is for universal healthcare and universities because of the importance of education to folks here in Canada. And along with butter tarts, you can only guess that V has got to be for Victoria Day. What else? W is for wilderness and wildlife, which are abundant in Canada and treasured and loved. X is for the gender identification option for non-binary people that they can choose to have on identification pieces and passports. Y is for Yukon, and for all those very fascinating airport codes and trying to figure out where it is you're going. And Z, well, That's not Z, that's Z. Not Z, Z. And I still struggle with Z. So we're here today to be with one another and to celebrate our options for being with each other, but also to celebrate Canada, not because it's perfect, but because we know it is not, and we can say it's not, and we can continue to work to make a pretty great place anyway. We're here to celebrate Canada because of the many blessings we enjoy living here in this big and diverse and caring and amazing country. We celebrate Canada because it's worth continuing to improve and change and nurture toward becoming an even more wonderful place where we all want to live. And just so you know, Carl and I do want to live here. We put in our application for citizenship in May. Happy Canada Day!
145 As Tranquil Streams. As tranquil streams that meet and merge and flow as one to seek the sea, our kindred hearts and minds unite to build a church that shall be free from the bonds that bind the mind to narrow thought and lifeless creed, free from a social call that fails to serve the cause of human need, a freedom that reveres the past but trusts the dawning future more, and bids the soul in search of truth adventure boldly and explore. Prophetic church, the future waits your liberating ministry. Go forward in the power of love, proclaim the truth that makes us free.
The benediction words are written by Mark Moshe de Wolf, who was a minister for several years, 5 years, I think, in South Peel. And this is what he has to say about benediction. With what benediction shall I leave you? This. In your life, may you know the holy meaning, the mystery that breaks into it every moment. May you live at peace in your world and at peace with yourself. And may the love of truth guide you in your everyday. Amen.
Each in our own special way.
Some come searching for reason and justice.
Some seek grace and the pleasures of play.
There are waves of compassion that help ease our way.
With mercy in times of despair. There are ways of vision that open our eyes, and we see. In the clear morning air we are sailing, the waves that we make, waves of wonder and joy. We are sailing on cruise of hope, spending our days making waves. Many can offer the wisdom of age, and
passion of youth. Some are dreaming of living connections. Some seek peace and a moment of truth. There's a tide of waves called boats in the sea, racing the will to be free. There are waves of spirit that reach to all every breed.
In the essence of love, we are sailing
On the waves that we make, waves of wonder and joy. We are sailing on rivers of hope, spending our days making waves. Oh, life is for living, so live every day.
But time's not forgiving, so find blessings, come what may.
We are sailing on the waves that we make.
Waves of wonder and joy.
We are sailing on rivers of hope.
Spending our days, we are
Sailing on the waves that we make.
Waves of wonder and
spending our days making waves. Spending our days making waves. Spending our days making waves.
Well, that was wonderful to see. Thank you for sharing that. Normally at this time we share our joys and sorrows, but I didn't receive any this week, so I will pray that everyone is doing well, that all of you are staying healthy. And Barb, I think you have an announcement to share today.
Yes, I've got one announcement. It says, are you feeling overwhelmed by all that's happening right now? One good way to cope is to do something to make things better. The Affordable Housing Team is encouraging letter writing. On our website, you will find model letters, guides, and addresses. One campaign supports the wonderful proposal to build 3,000 affordable housing units in Hamilton in just 3 years. The other opposes a bad Ontario bill that will hurt tenants. The board of this church has supported both of these campaigns. Please go to the website and use all the tools there to write a letter or email or letter or email. Please don't aim for perfect letters, aim for ones that get done and sent. And the board recently made a commitment that we'll keep learning more about systemic racism. And in that spirit, the Affordable Housing Team has posted on our website a background document on how the affordable housing crisis affects Black and Indigenous people and people of color. So please check it out. That's the announcements for today.